Yo, what up, y'all? Happy Thursday to you. Beautiful Thursday, prosperous, bountiful Thursday. All the kind words to y'all. This is Thoughtful Thursday number 10. I thank y'all for being here. What follows is a conversation that I had with Veronica Dieda, the executive director of operations at People House, to help illuminate kind of what People House's mission is, why we're doing the Step Up for Self campaign, who we're supporting here. It's a beautiful little conversation. I've condensed it to about 12 minutes, which is about half of the full conversation that we had. So if you want to see the full conversation, I will post that later on our Hybrid Collective YouTube channel, if anybody even uses YouTube anymore. But all the same, I appreciate it. It was a very good conversation. Hope y'all gain a lot from it. Hope y'all understand why we're doing this campaign to raise awareness around mental health and self-care. So without further ado, I will see you on the other side.
Hey, there it is.
There we
go. Got it. Cool.
So how's it going?
It's going good. Long time no see. I haven't seen you since probably this time last year. I feel like it was.
Dang, was it really? Oh my gosh.
That's when I started. Yeah, I think that's when I started volunteering. And then I kept coming all the way up through August when Jody left for the therapy there.
Oh yeah, man, everything is just going by too fast. I'm like, wait, that was a year ago?
Yeah, for sure. I was reminiscing about it because I had started off the year, wanting to do something like that, like wanting to do something more where I was volunteering my time. I thought I had time. I thought it was going to be something that I would be able to see through. And then, just one thing changes after another and you adjust and you swing with the pendulums of life. And,
yeah. Life is always very, very quickly changing on us. So
more so these days. I mean, I feel like that was bound to happen, right? Like when I was younger, life seemed to stand still because you were going through school and it was like the longest grueling 8 months of your life just to get out of class and get to summer. And then now we're like, man, just slow down a little bit. Just give me some time so I can catch my breath.
I know. Yeah. Like, could we just pause? If everything else could just pause so I could get XYZ done, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you understand it. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me and come on today, and so we could talk a little bit about People House and share this fabulous event with everybody who's interested.
Yeah.
So why don't, if you could, tell everybody who you are and what you do. I know who you are.
Yeah. So I'm Veronica Dieda. I'm the executive director of People House. I guess we use the term executive director. Sometimes it feels more like herder of cats or jack of all trades, master of none. But yeah, so that's what I do here at People House. I've been here since, 2013. So this May will be 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big.
Thanks. I started as I needed a part-time job as I was finishing my degree. And I found that listing for People House, 20 hours a week, part-time position. I said, oh, perfect. I applied and I got in and I never wanted to leave.
Cool.
So I didn't know I could leave work at the end of the day feeling good about what I did. I didn't know there were things out there even that were affordable counseling programs. I know when I was looking for some mental health services, when I couldn't afford to see traditional price therapist, I got put on like a wait list that was 6 months long at a community mental health organization. And by the time they called me, I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot I even put my name out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just, when I found out about People House and what they do and stuff, it just really captured my heart. And so, yeah, a very fast 10 years, but 10 years.
That's fantastic. I mean, What did you get your degree in? What was the path that led you to? Well, I mean, what would this be? Like mental health services? Was it?
Yeah, nonprofit work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I originally was in restaurant management. So I did that for quite a long time. And felt like my soul had been sucked out. Didn't and then I was like, okay, well, I wanted to go back and explore some stuff in law. So I worked towards getting my paralegal degree with hopes that I could transition that into some pre-law work and eventually go into becoming a lawyer. But I would say I'm very grateful that I didn't make that transition because working in restaurants at 70, 80 hours a week, it would have probably been worse.
Yeah. Then being like the comparison between being the lawyer at 70, 80 hours a week or running a restaurant at 70, 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
I used to, that was the first gig out of the gate in high school. I did a couple years of college, but had started managing a restaurant and was working 60 hours a week from open to close some days. And it has a ripple effect. It does tend to suck out your soul. I mean, some of my I hired some of my best friends. I won't name the place we worked. It's just not worth it. But I hired some of my friends, and by the I don't know 6-month mark, they were calling me Captain Blood because I was just like a fraction of my former self. They just and not to mention, they're friends, so they're probably also trying to take advantage of the fact that I'm a manager. And I wasn't nice guy Luke anymore. And there's that separation between, work and friendships that needs to happen. And it was just, it was interesting. I mean, and luckily we're still friends to this day. So good. It wasn't too detrimental to our friendship, but I do understand. I mean, just kind of anything in which kind of feels devoid of, well, I mean, there's not to say that's not purpose, right? Because in the service industry, you're there to serve, you are there to help people, but it does take a toll kind of on your mental health. And, I do recognize that. I recognize that in the last service industry job I worked in. I mean, it was beverage sales, it was alcohol sales. Oh. And, I found ways to supplement my addictions, through beverage sales of that type. So I was lucky to have been able to, once COVID hit, I left, started finding a new gig, but it did have, kind of lasting effects. It's definitely something me and Jody had talked about a lot, and how to maintain and manage those addictions. I think a lot of people are struggling with, and that's why I love People House. It was definitely there for me at the right moment.
Yeah, I feel very grateful because I know it is so incredibly common with addiction in service industry and stuff. And I felt very grateful that I didn't succumb to it to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like because I just saw so many people going through it and having my own familial challenges with addiction, and seeing that, I think that was also kind of a lesson or a fear. So it was kind of that really interesting position that I was put into, I was experiencing things that I had experienced from my family. So all of a sudden my work family, and still trying to navigate that and be the kind of caretaker in those situations. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it can be very, very triggering. It can be very hard once you get into the lifestyle, especially if you have the family background like that. I too had, alcoholism and drug abuse and stuff in my family line. And it has the potential, especially when you grow up around it, to pull you in and suck you into it as well. And same, I mean, moderation is key in all of those aspects. It's definitely something that has to be contended with before kind of looking back on your life and saying, wow, that's happening. It's happening. You don't even know how or why. And, that's, I mean, again, is why I think mental health services are so important.
Yeah, exactly.
So with that said, tell me a little bit about the mission at People House and how that's going.
Yeah, so we believe, People House's mission is that we believe that, in short, everybody deserves the right to affordable mental health care, regardless of socioeconomic status. And so we do that in order to help people by offering an affordable counseling program. And that's one of the major things that we do. So it is using intern counselors working on their graduate's degree. They need a place to be able to serve the clients. And we believe that we wanted to set up an internship site where people could feel like they're going to get ready to go into private practice versus agency work. And we want to be able to support them and give them that trust and autonomy that they need to be able to make that happen in the long run. And there are so many clients out there that need services that can't afford the $150 at the traditional prices. And unfortunately, a lot of therapists don't take insurance. And so, People House doesn't take insurance either, but with the fees being $20 or $25 an hour, it makes it a lot more accessible to people who wouldn't be able to otherwise have these types of services.
Yeah, definitely helped me.
Yeah.
Definitely. Before I come to see you, I was seeing a therapist, and he was great, absolutely fantastic. I was paying the rate to go see him, and I had seen him, I think over the course of 2 months. I was going every week at one point, so it was $150 every week. So that's $600. Yeah, that's $600 in a month, and then we changed it to every 2 weeks, and it was 150 per hour. And again, therapists are worth it. Absolutely, they are worth every penny that I spent on it. He was absolutely worth every penny that I spent. It adds up. And it became too difficult to sustain. So I was like, I had heard about People House through my old roommate, Adrian. I don't even know where he heard about it from, but he also I think he was going to the People House in Aurora, receiving services there. And I was like, definitely still recognize the need for this mental, I was still dealing with depression, was still dealing with grief that from losing my father, decades back, not even understanding these things until you get a chance to sit across from somebody and who's trained and professional enough to have these deep conversations with you and make you feel heard and make you feel seen, not make you feel like you're just losing your mind. And
right.
That's and it was so very impactful. Again, I'd known about the mission at People House, and that's initially what made me want to volunteer. But I think overall, the mission that you guys set forth is something that I want to continue to, be a part of and bolster. And I see the use for it in, my friends groups, and want them to have access to this without having to spend, half of their paychecks on mental health services.
Yeah, it's exactly that. When cost becomes a barrier and it becomes almost sometimes in some situations more harmful to be paying $600 a month, that becomes depressing when you're like, oh my gosh, I can't really afford this. And so to remove that barrier, I think is our biggest mission, And I think the other thing that's unique about what we do is that we are a spiritual organization as well. And so there is a holistic aspect to what we do and what we believe is happening in the therapy room. And so we're very lucky that we are one of the premier internship sites in Colorado. We get to really handpick the interns. And a lot of them, we try to make sure they have lived experience. And I think that's really beneficial to the clients because a lot of our clients obviously have lived experience, and to be able to process through that and have a safe space, I think is just so incredibly important. And sometimes interns come in I think, and you can kind of see the fear before they started seeing clients in their eyes. Sorry.
Sure.
And it's us telling them, one, you are enough as the therapist. You are enough. Your presence matters.
Right.
And so that is so important to remember, to be that person for somebody that maybe has heard something that they've never told anybody else in the world. That is a bond, and they so value that. And I just think that having cost not be a barrier really allows the relationship to bloom and grow.
Yeah.
And doesn't put that pressure on individuals to be like, I can only do 10 sessions because that's all I can afford, or we can really get into stuff and work on it. We can get deep, and I think there's differences there. And we do have a lot of other people in private practice that do charge a lot more because they've graduated, but there's a need for all the different types of services.
Right.
So
yeah, I agree with that. And what I found really cool is like you said, you're building a relationship with another human, and they are therapists. You are there to get therapy. But sometimes in order to crack that shell, it does take a few sessions to build that trust before you can start to open up some of the deeper things that are, kind of ruminating on the inside. So that's why it being affordable is very helpful. The other thing is the reciprocation, right? So as the client, if you will, you are also providing a valuable service to the therapist who's working to get their hours to do private practice. So that was really cool to me too, is to be able to know that I was also providing, as much as I was getting a service, I was also providing a service to Jody so that she may move on with her practice, that she may get the practice. And I know you guys have community meetings with your therapists where you work with them to improve their skills so that they can further their careers as well.
Yeah, we definitely offer a lot of supervision. I think one of the kind of mantras is that we believe that they're just uneducated peers, or they're maybe not even uneducated isn't the right word, but inexperienced, I should say. They're inexperienced peers. And so we put that on them of like, here, we believe you're going to do good work, but here's also the platform to be able to get supervision. We're providing them group supervision and then also individual supervision. And and then of course the poor things also have supervision at their schools, but we're providing them different trainings and things that they can attend to try to really, add things to the toolbox so that they can bring them out with the clients. Because obviously every client's not the same. And we don't think that there's only one right way to do therapy. So each person is going to be unique.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, I'm thrilled to have come across People House, and I fully believe in the mission and everything that you guys are, trying to put forth in order to better our community. I won't keep you much longer. The Step Up for Self campaign is an effort in order to raise funds, in order to help further the mission, further the cause. Kind of put forth by my company, Hybrid Collective, which is a organization in which is out to try to empower people to kind of be the best selves for our community at large, and help those who are in need. So once when all is said and done, so people know what their donation is going to, as far as how that helps People House further their mission?
Yeah. So there's a few different ways, and I was just so incredibly honored when you reached out. I was just like, wow, it humbles me. When I hear about people's stories, and I just feel so humbled and honored to be able to get to, in a different type of role, share a part of that experience. I'm not in the room, I'm not doing the counseling, I can't take any credit for that or the work that the clients are putting into it. But to at least be on the administrative side of it, I feel so grateful that I do get to participate in that way. And there's a few different ways that People House really it can benefit the organization and what we need. And we recently raised our rates from $20 to $25, and we have a lot of clients who can't afford that $5 jump. So we do have a scholarship fund that we make available to people who can't afford our traditional sliding scale of $25 to $65. So we have some clients that pay as low as $10 a session, and then the scholarship fund supplements them, because we want to make sure that cost is not a barrier. And if something happens where they lose their job or finances are tough, we want to be able to offer them, like, hey, you can still keep coming to counseling. We don't want this to stop you. And so they can apply for the scholarship. So we have that, and we've had a lot more need recently. I think, COVID, it just hit a lot of the industries really hard, and a lot of people still are back or in a better place. And so we want to be able to continue to keep helping as many people as we can in that way. And additionally, it helps us to just, keep the lights on, to continue the idea of growing. We want to keep helping more people. We're serving 800 plus clients a year, and to be able to help even more, because there is more demand than we can serve. And it doesn't feel good when we have to try to refer them to other organizations, or people are feeling not heard because this is the third place they've tried calling. We want to be able to try to continue to grow and eventually have another location, so we can serve even more people, because the need is there, and we want to try to keep helping. And then the last thing that we want to start trying to do, and it's going to be a pilot program, hopefully, that we're going to be rolling out, is offering a stipend to potential interns who identify as people of color, because there is a huge lack in the industry, because it is a privileged profession. And we want to be able to at least help a little bit by offering some stipends to people who may need it, that are, like I said, in the BIPOC community, and giving them a couple stipends a trimester. So we want to be able to do that. And so to try to fund that, we've been working on some grants, and this could really help to get that off the ground as well, because we think representation is important. And not only is it unfortunate that there isn't, it is a privileged industry, but it means something when you can see somebody who has an easier time identifying. So that's a goal of ours as well. So those are the things that we're trying to work towards, and that this can really help with. So yeah.
That's so good. That's so cool. I got the chills as you were saying all of that.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, that's really excellent. And to make that acknowledgement, is something that's powerful in and of itself. Because I noticed it too, and it's hard to convince people of color that that's myself being a person of color, didn't have any thought about going to therapy, because it did seem like it just belongs to those who are privileged and can't afford it. And, not to say that there's anything wrong with it, but that also offers another barrier in which, we can break down and, get more people healing. And, this stuff spans back generations at times. And I think oftentimes people of color don't actually understand that, would rather just kind of push it down and keep pretending like the mental health portion of their life doesn't exist or doesn't bother them. And that's something that I did for a long time. And another reason why we're doing this on the 19th of March is it's my late father's birthday. And I really recognize the, just having that conversation with Jody, I really recognize the need for him to have had mental health services in his life in order for him to overcome some of the demons that he was battling, and never really had the opportunity to do so, either because it was too expensive or because of the pride issue or whatever it may be. So yeah, that's really cool that that's part of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, we recognize it's a much larger systemic issue, but if we want to start to be able to do something to help create that change, and so that is one of the ways that we want to try to do it. And so we're keeping our fingers crossed that the grant will come through, and we'll be able to go ahead and move forward with it. Yeah, but I think we're set out to do it regardless. It's just figuring. We might not be able to serve as many, or, so it's just kind of playing with all of it, but every little bit helps. And so we're grateful to be in a position where we can do this. And so, cool. But we're very excited. And like I said, so honored, Luke. But I think you're right. There is a lot of that also, the idea around destigmatizing the mental health world, and like your father, maybe it is pride, but getting people to recognize that this is it's an ongoing dialogue that's okay to have, and the more we can have it, the better off we'll be.
Yeah, I agree with all of that completely. I really do. As well as other self-care modalities, like this is definitely, I think, top in my list of priorities as far as kind of getting the message out there, like, take care of your mental health, take care of your physical health, like important step one. Yeah, it seems kind of selfish at first, but like it's harder to take care of other people if you don't know how to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what Step Up for Self is all about. So it'd be as much as you're honored that this is the Step Up for Self is happening for you. I am honored that I am we're in this together, that I'm able to provide this for you, and I'm hoping for whatever the outcome is. I already got it's looking pretty good, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited to walk the Manitou Incline. But yeah, I mean, for it to be an annual thing, for us to come back to it year after year, I mean, this is just the jumping off point. And we'll see how we can grow it over the years. I'm very interested to see how People House continues growing, and hope to be there right along with you.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time today, Veronica. I really do appreciate it. And I will, we'll be in contact over the next few weeks, and we'll make this thing happen.
Sounds good, Luke. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking with you today as well.
All right. Well, take care of yourself. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that's that. Like I said, it's quite a wonderful organization, just from the bottom of my soul. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, all the counselors that intern there. Thank you, all the volunteers that pass through there to help that mission. Everybody up and down the roster at People House, y'all are doing phenomenal work. Thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts here at Hybrid Collective. We do appreciate it. So Step Up for Self is only a couple days away. The walk up the incline anyway is only a couple days away. I'm nervous and excited. Yoga teacher training is about to end on Saturday. And yeah, thank you to everybody who's signing up, who's coming to walk, everybody who's purchased a tier up to this point. We are extending the GoFundMe out a few weeks, hopefully to the time where we can find a venue to put this show together, so that we can actually try to hit our goal of $10,000 to raise for People House. So please tell your friends, tell your family, anybody with deep pockets, anybody with shallow pockets who has $5. We're going to try to make that show free for everybody who donates or participates in Step Up for Self somehow. So we're still looking for that venue. But that's it, y'all. Thank you again for your time and your patience and showing up again for Thoughtful Thursday number 10. I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart, truly. Again, if you are struggling with mental health issues, reach out to me. I will point you in the right direction. Reach out to People House. Start to take care of yourself. Self-care is so important. And, we can't take care of others until we know we could take care of and love ourselves. So, with that said, that's it. Love from the bottom of my heart. Let's wrap on Thoughtful Thursday number 10. Peace to you and yours.